In case you haven't noticed, every pet site, shop, or even veterinary clinic you go to, you're always presented with two fundamental types of dog food: dry kibbles and canned food. They are clearly distinguishable from their packaging alone. Dry kibbles typically come in bags or even sacks. Canned doggy foods, on the other hand, come in, well, cans. However, there's actually more to it than just their packaging would suggest. In fact, it has become one of the hottest talking points in dog owner circles. The divide is clearly getting wider, with those in favor of dry dog food on one end and those who espouse canned canine delicacies on the other. So what gives? Here, we'll take a look at the ongoing battle between dry dog food and canned food. Understanding the ideal food for dogs. Even before we can start answering the question which between dry kibbles and wet dog food is better for our pooches, it is important to gain understanding of the fundamental nutritional requirements of these pets. Only then can we craft a more sensible answer to the nagging question. Regrettably, many of the dog foods currently available in the market simply don't fit the ideal nutrient composition required by domesticated canines. To illustrate our point, let us compare the nutrient composition of dogs in the wild and commercially available dry dog food. The question of digestibility. The reason why dogs need more protein is that their digestive system is not primarily designed for roughage. They are not cows or other grass-feeding animals. Dogs require proteins and fats because their digestive system is more efficient in processing these nutrients. For example, egg whites are often used as the benchmark for assessing the digestibility of food items. Egg white proteins are easily digested by the canine stomach. As such, it is given a score of 1.0. Let us take a look at the digestibility of some of the common food items that some of us would give to our pets. As you can see, meats are a lot easier digested by the canine stomach. Fibrous food materials take time to digest if not fully digested at all. For instance, compare corn, which has a digestibility of only 54%, with lean meats with 92%. This means that the gastrointestinal system of our dogs is inherently designed to process proteins and fats. It can still digest carbohydrates, but only to a lesser degree. Are canned dog foods better? Based on the foregoing discussion, you will be inclined to think that canned dog foods are better than dry kibbles primarily because they resemble a mixture that contains more protein and fat. Sadly, this is not always the case. It is important to understand that while canned dog foods essentially have fewer carbohydrates per weight compared to dry dog food, a greater proportion of a canned food's weight is composed of water or moisture. A typical canine wet diet is composed of 75% moisture or water. This simply means that the remaining 25% is what comprises its nutrient content. Let us take this into perspective. Is dry dog food better than if wet canine diets are mostly filled with moisture and fewer nutrient content that you'd essentially need to feed more of it to your dog to provide the nutrients it needs? Dry dog food is essentially filled with a lot of fillers. One other thing, a review of the nutritional information of some leading brands show that they have minimum and maximum content levels which do not give you any idea on the actual amount that you're getting. The labeling doesn't tell you how much of a particular nutrient is actually getting. Sure, you may be getting a maximum of 4% fiber, which is their way of saying that it contains 4% carbohydrates. Max? But the question now is the actual percentage composition for protein and fat. It simply means at least 21% for protein. Does it mean 50%? How about 70% or maybe 25%? No one knows. Reading the label again, and you'll see in their ingredient list ground whole corn, beet pulp, ground whole wheat, brewer's rice, and corn and gluten meal, and then they include vitamins, minerals, and fatty acids into the ingredient list. Weighing your options. From the foregoing presentation, it is clear that neither dry dog food nor canned canine diets can provide the kind of nutrition that ancestral canines have enjoyed through many centuries. Choosing one over the other will often require taking some actions to help supplement deficiencies. If you choose dry dog foods, know that you have to increase your pet's water intake through other means, such as giving it plenty of fresh drinking water in its bowl or water dispenser. It also means you have to be very careful about the high carbohydrate content of such canine diets. And if it has low carbohydrate content, you need to ascertain that its remaining ingredients are not mere fillers. Dry food is great if your primary considerations are cost, ease of storage and feeding, and oral care for your pet. We are almost wrapping up. These are the common differences between these two. Hope you like this video. Please comment, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos.